Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that everything you've been searching for clarity, energy, confidence, and peace is not waiting for you somewhere far away, but hidden in the small things you do every single day. Most people think life changes only come from massive leaps, huge risks, or sudden strokes of luck. But the truth is, transformation rarely comes in explosions. It comes in whispers, in choices so small they're easy to overlook, yet powerful enough to rewrite the course of your future. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak to yourself, the way you use your time, these are the invisible architects of your destiny. And the difference between staying stuck where you are and stepping into a new version of yourself often lies in the habits you decide to commit to right now. Too often, people convince themselves that change requires years, that progress is supposed to be slow. But what if I told you that 7 days is enough to start turning the wheel of your life in an entirely new direction? 7 days is not about reaching the destination, it's about creating undeniable momentum. Think of it like planting seeds. 7 small, intentional acts can lay the foundation for an entirely different harvest. It's not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about giving yourself proof every day that you are capable of more than the world has led you to believe. We all carry habits. Some we choose and some we inherited without realizing it. And those habits are either building us or breaking us. They are either pushing us closer to the life we say we want or quietly pulling us further away. The scary part is that many of these patterns run on autopilot. You wake up, repeat yesterday, and then wonder why nothing feels different. But the beautiful part is this. The moment you decide to shift even the smallest routine, you gain the power to shift the entire trajectory of your life. These 5 habits are not complicated. They don't require you to spend thousands of dollars, quit your job, or move to another country. They are simple, practical, and designed to cut through the noise of excuses. Simple does not mean easy, because it will still take discipline, still demand commitment. But simple means you can begin right now, today, without waiting for the perfect time. Each of these habits will challenge you, stretch you, and show you sides of yourself you've been neglecting. And if you lean into them fully, even for just 7 days, you will notice a shift that you can't ignore. The mind will try to tell you it's too soon to expect results, but results are not only measured in outcomes. They are also measured in how you feel, how you think, and how you move differently once you prove to yourself that change is possible. Because the first victory is not external, it's internal. It's convincing yourself that the life you dream of is within your reach. And it begins with 5 simple habits that, when practiced intentionally, have the power to completely change your life in just 1 week. Starting each day with intentional silence and reflection is more than just a routine. It's an act of reclaiming your power before the world demands it from you. Too often, people roll out of bed and are immediately pulled into chaos, scrolling through notifications, answering messages, rushing into responsibilities without ever pausing to center themselves. The problem with this is simple. When you let the outside world dictate your state of mind before you've even decided how you want to show up, you've already surrendered control. But when you begin your day in silence, when you take even a few minutes to disconnect from noise and connect with yourself, you build a foundation of clarity, calm, and focus that nothing else can provide. That silence is not empty, it's full of answers you've been too busy to hear. Reflection within that silence is where the real transformation begins. It's in those moments that you can ask yourself powerful questions. What do I want to create today? How do I want to feel? What kind of energy do I want to carry into the world? These are not just casual thoughts. They are anchors that shape the choices you'll make throughout the day. Without reflection, you drift, reacting to whatever comes your way. With reflection, you step into the day with purpose, no longer just surviving it, but intentionally directing it. And the truth is, everyone has time for this practice. People say they don't have 10 minutes, yet they spend hours scrolling through meaningless content. That silence in the morning is an investment, not a cost, and the returns it brings compound every single day. There's a reason why the most centered and hyper-forming people across different walks of life protect their mornings so fiercely. They understand that the mind is most open and receptive at the start of the day. When you enter silence, you allow your thoughts to settle, And instead of carrying yesterday's noise into today, you create space for new clarity. This is where reflection becomes powerful, taking those quiet moments to identify what truly matters and what no longer deserves your attention. It's like cleaning out mental clutter before it has a chance to overwhelm you. This habit is not about being perfect, it's about being present. You don't need an hour of meditation in a mountaintop monastery to gain the benefits. Even 5 minutes of intentional stillness can be enough to shift your state of mind. Close your eyes, focus on your breathing, and allow yourself to become aware of the thoughts running through your mind without judgment. This simple act of observation is a reset button. It calms the nervous system, reduces stress, and brings your attention back to what you can control. From that place of presence, reflection flows naturally. You can review what you learned from yesterday, acknowledge what you're grateful for, and set your intentions for the day ahead. And reflection isn't only about planning or setting goals. It's also about reconnecting with yourself. In the rush of life, people forget to listen to their inner voice, the one that knows what they truly need. Silence gives that voice room to speak. Maybe it's reminding you to slow down. Maybe it's encouraging you to take a risk. Maybe it's nudging you to release something that's been weighing you down. Whatever it is, you can't hear it when you're drowning in noise, but you can hear it in the stillness. When you consistently practice starting your day this way, it doesn't just change your mornings, it changes how you approach the entire day. You become less reactive and more intentional, less scattered and more focused. The world will still throw challenges at you, but instead of meeting them in a state of panic, you meet them with clarity because you've already grounded yourself. This is the hidden power of silence and reflection. It trains you to lead your day rather than letting the day lead you. And when you repeat this practice day after day, it becomes a habit that shapes not only your mornings but your entire life. Fueling your body with movement and mindful nutrition is one of the most powerful choices you can make because your physical state directly impacts your mental, emotional, and spiritual state. Too often people separate the body from the mind as if they are not connected, but the reality is they influence each other constantly. The way you treat your body determines the energy, focus, and resilience you bring into everything else you do. When you neglect movement and nutrition, you're not just affecting your health, you're limiting your potential, dulling your clarity, and lowering the quality of your life. But when you fuel yourself intentionally, you unlock a level of vitality that elevates everything you touch. Movement doesn't have to mean spending hours in a gym or following a complicated workout plan. Movement is about keeping your body alive, awake, and in flow. Something as simple as a brisk walk in the morning, stretching for 10 minutes, or doing a few push-ups at home can shift your energy in ways that are hard to ignore. The body was designed to move, not to sit in the same position all day. And when you move, you send signals to your brain that you are alive, strong, and ready to take on challenges. It improves circulation, boosts your mood, sharpens your focus, and reduces stress. Many people underestimate how even small bursts of movement throughout the day can prevent fatigue and create momentum that carries into everything else. Nutrition is just as critical. The food you put into your body is not only fuel, it's information. Every bite communicates with your cells, telling your body either to thrive or to struggle. If you constantly fill yourself with processed, sugary, or empty calorie foods, you're not giving your body what it needs to perform. You're spiking your energy temporarily only to crash later, creating a cycle of exhaustion and cravings. On the other hand, when you make mindful choices, eating more whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and staying hydrated, you create a steady flow of energy that sustains you throughout the day. Mindful nutrition isn't about dieting or depriving yourself. It's about respecting your body enough to give it what it deserves. When movement and nutrition work together, the impact multiplies. Your body feels lighter, your mind feels clearer, and your spirit feels stronger. You don't drag yourself through the day. You move through it with vitality. And the best part is that you don't need to wait months to feel the difference. Within just a few days of intentional movement and mindful eating, your body responds. You wake up with more energy, you sleep better, your mood improves, and you find yourself more motivated to keep going. That quick feedback loop is proof that your body wants to work with you, not against you, but you have to give it the right tools. This habit also teaches discipline and self-respect. Every time you choose to move instead of staying still, every time you choose water instead of soda, every time you choose a balanced meal instead of junk food, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're showing yourself that you are worth the effort. These small decisions accumulate, and over time, they become second nature. You no longer have to force yourself. You crave the choices that make you feel alive because your body remembers how good it feels. Another overlooked benefit is the effect this has on your mindset. When you move your body, you release tension that often builds up from stress or negative emotions. Physical activity becomes a form of therapy, a way to process energy that otherwise stays trapped inside you. Nutrition also plays a role in mental clarity. Nutrient-rich foods improve brain function, memory, and focus. Together, they create a mental environment where you can think sharper, feel calmer, and show up stronger. Committing to this habit doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency. Even small improvements done daily will shift your trajectory. You don't need to transform your entire diet overnight or adopt a strict workout schedule. Begin where you are, with what you have, and focus on progress rather than perfection. Over time, the compound effect of those small efforts becomes undeniable, and you realize that fueling your body with movement and mindful nutrition is not just about health, it's about creating the energy and strength to fully live the life you're meant to live. Replacing negative self-talk with empowering affirmations is one of the most underrated yet transformative habits a person can develop. The conversations you have with yourself are constant, and they shape the way you see the world, the way you see others, and most importantly, the way you see yourself. Every thought you repeat, whether it's encouraging or destructive, becomes a script that your subconscious mind begins to follow. If that script is filled with doubt, criticism, and fear, you limit your ability to grow because you've convinced yourself that you're incapable. But when you begin to replace that destructive inner dialogue with empowering affirmations, you change the entire narrative of your life. Negative self-talk often goes unnoticed because it feels normal. You make a mistake and instantly tell yourself you're stupid. You face a challenge and immediately say you can't do it. You look in the mirror and criticize what you see instead of appreciating it. These thoughts might feel small, but they accumulate, and over time they become beliefs. And once something becomes a belief, it starts dictating your actions. If you believe you're not good enough, you stop trying. If you believe you always fail, you sabotage opportunities before they even have a chance to grow. This is why learning to interrupt negative self-talk is so important. It prevents you from reinforcing a false version of yourself. Affirmations are not about pretending everything is perfect or lying to yourself. They are about consciously choosing language that builds rather than destroys, that uplifts rather than weakens. An affirmation is a statement of truth that reminds you of your potential and your worth. When you say to yourself, "I am capable, I am disciplined, I am resilient," you are not inventing something out of thin air. You are reminding yourself of qualities you already possess, but have been overshadowed by years of doubt. The power of affirmations lies in repetition. Just as negative self-talk becomes ingrained through constant repetition, empowering affirmations begin to rewire your subconscious when spoken and thought consistently. The mind does not resist repetition, it absorbs it. That is why advertising works. That is why music lyrics stick. And that is why repeated negative thoughts become so believable. By filling your mind with affirmations, you start programming it with a different script. Over time, you notice subtle shifts. You carry yourself with more confidence. You take actions you once avoided. And you handle setbacks with greater resilience. The difference is not that life has become easier, but that you have trained your mind to respond from a place of strength rather than weakness. It is important to understand that affirmations are most effective when paired with action. Saying "I am disciplined" means nothing if you continue to avoid responsibility, but when you affirm it and then follow through with a disciplined action, you reinforce that belief on a deeper level. It becomes evidence that your affirmation is not just words but reality. The more evidence you collect, the stronger your belief becomes, and the cycle begins to build in your favor. Another key to replacing negative self-talk is awareness. You cannot replace something you do not notice. That means paying attention to the words you use when speaking to yourself. Are you harsh when you make a mistake? Do you downplay your successes? Do you constantly compare yourself to others and come up short? Catching those moments is the first step to change. Once you notice them, you can deliberately replace them with affirmations. Instead of saying, "I always mess up," you can say, "I learn and improve with every experience." Instead of, "I'm not good enough," you can affirm, "I am growing into the best version of myself." These replacements might feel uncomfortable at first because they challenge old beliefs, but discomfort is a sign of growth. Over time, this practice transforms not only how you see yourself, but also how you interact with the world. When your inner dialogue is filled with encouragement, you naturally extend that encouragement to others. When you build yourself up, you stop seeking validation from people who never understood your value in the first place. You begin to walk differently, talk differently, and act differently because your foundation is no longer built on doubt, but on self-belief. And the more consistently you replace negative self-talk with empowering affirmations, the more you realize that your mind is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally, when you train it to work for you rather than against you. Prioritizing focused action over endless distractions is one of the greatest skills you can master in a world that constantly competes for your attention. Every day, you are bombarded with notifications, emails, messages, and an endless stream of information pulling you in different directions. It's easy to confuse busyness with productivity, but they are not the same. You can spend an entire day checking off small, meaningless tasks, scrolling for hours, or reacting to every distraction and still feel like nothing important was accomplished. Focused action is the opposite. It's about identifying what truly matters, shutting out the noise, and channeling your energy into the tasks that bring the greatest return on your time and effort. The first step is clarity. You cannot prioritize action if you don't know what is important. Too many people drift through the day without a clear sense of direction, and as a result, they give their attention to whatever is loudest rather than what is most meaningful. Clarity means asking yourself, what are the top 1 or 2 things I must accomplish today that will push me closer to my goals? When you identify those, you create a roadmap for your energy. Without that roadmap, distractions will always win. With it, you know exactly where to direct your focus, and you stop wasting time on things that don't move the needle. Focus requires discipline because distractions are designed to be tempting. Social media is engineered to keep you scrolling, emails are written to demand immediate replies, and entertainment is always just one click away. Training yourself to resist these temptations is like training a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you become. One simple technique is to block time for deep work, where you commit to working on a single task without interruption. During that time, you silence your phone, close unnecessary tabs, and dedicate yourself fully to what matters most. Even just 90 minutes of uninterrupted focus can produce more progress than an entire day of multitasking. Another part of prioritizing focused action is learning to say no. Every yes you give to a distraction is a no to your priorities. People often struggle with this because they don't want to disappoint others, but in trying to please everyone, they end up betraying themselves. Saying no is not about being rude, it's about protecting your time and energy for the things that matter most. When you learn to guard your focus, you begin to value your time differently. You stop giving it away so cheaply and start investing it where it brings the most impact. There's also a mental shift that happens when you commit to focused action. Instead of spreading yourself thin, you give your full attention to one thing, and that presence elevates the quality of your work. You think more deeply, solve problems more creatively, and execute with greater precision. Multitasking creates shallow results because your attention is divided, but focus creates excellence because all of your energy is concentrated. Over time, this habit compounds. The people who achieve remarkable results are not necessarily the ones who work the hardest or longest, but the ones who learn to focus on the few things that matter and execute them with consistency. Focused action also builds momentum. When you complete meaningful tasks, you feel a sense of accomplishment that fuels you to keep going. Distractions, on the other hand, leave you drained because they don't give you progress, only temporary stimulation. Momentum is what carries you forward even on difficult days, and it begins with the discipline of choosing focus over noise. Every time you practice this habit, you strengthen your ability to ignore the unimportant and stay aligned with your bigger vision. The reality is that life will always have distractions. They won't disappear, but you can decide how much power they have over you. Prioritizing focused action is about reclaiming that power. It's about deciding that your goals, your growth, and your future are more important than temporary pleasures or meaningless noise. When you consistently practice this, you not only accomplish more, but you also begin to live with a deeper sense of purpose and direction because your energy is aligned with what truly matters. Ending your day with gratitude and clear planning for tomorrow is one of the simplest yet most powerful practices you can adopt, because the way you close your day determines the energy you carry into the next one. Too often, people end their nights scrolling endlessly, overthinking what went wrong, or worrying about what's coming next. This creates stress, drains energy, and leaves the mind unsettled. But when you make it a habit to pause, reflect, and end your day intentionally, you create peace for yourself while also setting the stage for progress. Gratitude and planning are the two elements that turn the close of your day into a foundation for growth. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It is the act of recognizing the good that exists in your life, no matter how small. At the end of the day, your mind can easily default to everything that went wrong or everything you still haven't achieved. Gratitude interrupts that cycle by intentionally focusing on the positives. Whether it's an opportunity you received, a lesson you learned, or even something as simple as having a meal, a conversation, or a safe place to rest, you train your brain to see abundance instead of lack. This shift changes your state of mind, reducing stress and creating calmness before sleep. Gratitude is not about ignoring challenges. It's about balancing them with the recognition of what's still good. Another powerful effect of practicing gratitude at night is how it rewires your brain over time. Neuroscience shows that gratitude strengthens pathways associated with optimism and resilience. That means the more you practice it, the easier it becomes to focus on solutions instead of problems and to carry a positive outlook even in difficult times. Ending your day with gratitude ensures that no matter what the day held, you leave it on a note of appreciation rather than frustration. This habit doesn't just make you feel better in the moment. It builds emotional strength that carries into every part of your life. The second part of this habit is clear planning for tomorrow. Many people go to bed with 1,000 thoughts running through their minds about what they need to do the next day. This creates anxiety and often results in restless sleep. But when you take a few minutes to write down your priorities for tomorrow, you release that mental clutter. You no longer have to carry it in your head because it's on paper, organized, and ready for action. This simple act brings clarity and peace of mind. It allows you to rest knowing that tomorrow is already mapped out. Planning is not about overwhelming yourself with a long list of tasks. It's about identifying the most important things you need to accomplish. By setting clear priorities, you ensure that your energy tomorrow is directed toward what truly matters, not scattered across endless distractions. This gives you a sense of control and purpose, allowing you to start your day strong rather than wasting time deciding what to do. When you wake up with a plan, you wake up with direction, and that direction keeps you aligned with your bigger goals. The combination of gratitude and planning is what makes this practice so powerful. Gratitude shifts your mindset into positivity, and planning transforms that positivity into purposeful action. Together, they create balance. Gratitude ensures you appreciate the present, while planning ensures you're prepared for the future. Ending your day this way turns the close of each night into a moment of empowerment, where you not only celebrate what you have but also build momentum for what's coming next. Another benefit of this habit is the effect it has on your sleep. When you go to bed with gratitude in your heart and clarity in your mind, your body relaxes, and your sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Instead of tossing and turning with stress, you drift into rest with peace. And when you wake up, You wake up refreshed, motivated, and ready to take on the day because you already know what matters most. This creates a cycle of energy and productivity that compounds over time. Ending your day with gratitude and clear planning for tomorrow is not complicated. It doesn't require hours of effort, just a few intentional minutes of reflection and preparation. But those minutes have the power to transform how you feel, how you think, and how you show up every single day. It's about closing one chapter with appreciation and opening the next one with direction, ensuring that each day of your life builds on the last with purpose and positivity.